Okay, good day. Our lesson for this week is expressing one value as a fraction of another given their ratio and vice versa. So that is our lesson for the second quarter of week 1. Again, expressing one value as a fraction of another given the ratio and vice versa. Okay, for our milk, most essential learning competencies. The first one, expresses one value as a fraction of another given the ratio and vice versa. And the second, milk, defines and illustrates the meaning of ratio and proportion using concrete or pictorial models. After going through this lesson, you are expected to express the value as a fraction of another given the ratio and vice versa. Okay, so let me define first what is a ratio. Okay, ratio is a way of comparing two or more quantities having the same units, or the quantities may be separate entities or they may be different parts of a whole. You can write the ratio of A and B in three ways. It can be written in word form, column form, and fraction form. Okay, so the order in which the ratio is expressed is very important. Again, in the ratio, a part can be compared to its whole. Again, in the ratio, a part can be compared to its whole. Let me give you an example. Okay, compare the number of circles to triangles and vice versa. So let's say we have these circles. So if you will notice that there are 12 circles. Again, there are 12 circles compared to 6 triangles. So therefore, write the ratio of circles to triangles. Again, it says that a ratio can be expressed in three ways. So we have in word form, column, or in fraction. Okay, by word form, so that is 12 is to 6. 12 is to 6. And then for column, so that is 12 is to 6 by using the colon or the tutuldok. And by fraction, that is 12 over 6. But we are not always reading that as 12 over 6 because we are going to express that in lowest term. Because in fraction alone, 12 over 6 is 2. So since we talk about ratio, so therefore 12 is to 6 will become 2 is to 1. Okay, so let's get the vice versa of circles to triangles. Okay, so ratio of triangles to circles. Let me show you again the circles. Okay, so there are 12 circles compared to 6 triangles. And the ratio is 6:12. Why is it 6:12? Because we talk about the triangles compared to circles. So again, there are 6 triangles and 12 circles. Again, 6 triangles and 12 circles. That is in word form. And by colon, that is 6:12. And by fraction, that is 6:12 or 6/12. Now, this time, let us combine all the figures or the shapes. So, considering that we combine the 6 triangles and the 12 circles. So, how many shapes do we have now? So, we have 18 shapes. Okay, again, if you compare the part to the total number of shapes, the ratio of the part to the total has the same meaning as fraction. Okay, again, let's get the ratio of the total number of shapes to number of triangles. So that is in word form, that will become, again, the ratio of the total shapes to triangles in word form, that is equals to 18:6. 18:6. And then by colon, so that is 18:6. And in fraction, that is 18/6. Now, this time, the ratio of total triangles to shapes. Again, the ratio of total triangles to shapes. So, that will become the 6:18, that is in word form. And in column form, that is 6:18. And in fraction, that is 6:18. Again, we can write the ratio in 3 forms. So we have by using in word form, by colon, and by fraction. Again, as I've said, even if ratio is in the fraction form, you still say 18:6 or 6:18. And we are not going to say that as 6/18 or 12/6 and vice versa, because we are in a ratio. Now, ratio should be in simplest form or lowest form, like fraction. Again, as I've said, that's why we are not always saying that as 12/6 or 6/12 is because it is in ratio, but we can express that into lowest form. Okay, considering that you have the same number, so you have the 18:6. So what we are going to do is to factor 18, and the factors of 18 are 6 and 3, and the 6 is 6 and 1. So we have 6 times 3 over 6 times 1. So this time, let us cancel the both 6. So cancel 6, cancel 6. So that will become 1 and 1. And 1 times 3 is 3. And 1 times 1 is 1. So therefore, 18:6 is equals to 3:1. Again, we could not write that as 3 alone because we are comparing. Don't just write 3. Instead, 3:1. Okay, let's get the inverse. So that is 6 is to 18. Again, let us factor the 6 and 18. And 6 and 18, 6 is equals to 6 times 1. And 18 is equals to 6 times 3. So that is equals to, and then cancel 6 and 6. So that will become 1 and 1. So therefore, that is equals to 1 is to 3. Therefore, the simplest form of 18 is to 6 and 6 is to 18 is 3 is to 1 and 1 is to 3. Okay, again, we write that in 3 forms. In word form, colon, and in fraction. Okay, so let's have more example. Okay, so write ratio of the following in 3 ways. So we have the marbles compared to balls. So there are 6 marbles compared to 12 balls. So to write that in word form, that is equals to 6 is to 12, and then by colon, that is 6 is to 12, and in fraction form, that is 6 over 12. Now, to express that in simplest form, so since the factor of 6 is 6 and 1 and 12 is 6 and 2, so we can cancel 6 and 6. So what will be left is the 1 and 2. So therefore, the lowest form of the ratio 6 is to 12 is 1 is to 2. 1 is to 2. Okay, next sample. Let's say we have 15 notebooks to 5 bags. 15 notebooks to 5 bags. So, in word form, that is 15 is to 5, and in colon, that is 15 is to 5, and in fraction, that is 15 over 5. Okay, so the factors of 15 are 5 and 3, and 5 is 5 and 1, so we can cancel 5 and 5. So what will be left is the 3 and 1. Again, we cannot write that as 3, but instead we are going to write the 3 is to 1. Again, don't just write 3, but instead write 3 is to 1. So you can write that in colon or in fraction form. Next, let's say we have 8 boys to 16 bikers. So that is in word form, that is 8 is to 16. 8 is to 16 by colon, and in fraction, that is 8 over 16. Again, factor 8. So that is 8 times 1, and 16 is 8 times 2. So cancel 8 and 8. So what will be left is 1 and 2. So therefore, the fraction or the lowest form of the ratio is 1 is to 2. Next, we have 30 balloons to 12 bags. So that is 30 is to 12 by colon, 30 is to 12, and by fraction, that is 30 over 12. So what is common to 30 and 12? So let's factor, that is 6 times 5 for 30, and for the 12 we have the 6 times 2, and then cancel 6 and 6. So what will be left is for the 30 is 5 and for the 12 is 2. So that is 5 is to 2 in word, or 5 is to 2 in colon, or 5/2 in fraction. And then we have 24 girls to 16 boys. So how will you write that in a word form? So that is 24 is to 16 in word form. That is 24 is to 16 in colon, and in fraction 24 is to 16. Again, what is common to 24 and 16? So let's get the factors of 24. And the factors of 24 are B8 and 3. And for the 16, we have the 8 and 2. So cancel 8 and 8. So what was left is the 3 for 24 and 2 for the 16. So that is equals to 3 is to 2 in word, or 3 is to 2 in colon, or 3/2 in fraction. Okay, so this time let us use coin with different unit. Okay, express the ratio of 3 25 centavo coins to 3 coins in colon form. Okay, what have you noticed about the given? We have the 3 25 centavo coins and 3 peso coins. Can we compare it? Can we get the ratio? So let me write the 3 25 centavo coins and compare to 3 peso coin. Now, so since they are in a different unit, though they have the same denomination, which is coin, but we have to change the peso into 25 centavo. Okay, so since the two quantities have different units, you need to make sure that they must be in the same units to express the right ratio. Okay, so you have to rewrite the 3 25 centavo coins. So since 1 peso, there are 4 25 centavo coins in 1 peso. So that will become 12 25 centavo coins. Now, so since they are now on the same units, the 3 25 centavo coins and the 12 25 centavo coins, how shall we write the ratio? Yes, we can write this as 3 is to 12. Okay? So, in this example, you can express now the two ratio because they are already on the same units. So, that is 3 is to 12. So, since there are 4 25 centavo coin in each 1 peso. And to express that into simplest form, that will become 1 is to 4. Again, that is 1 is to 4. Now, this time, let us get the equivalent. Okay, so the equivalent ratio. Considering that you have the 2 is to 4 or 2/4. Okay? So, how are we going to write that into equivalent? Of course, if you multiply the in fraction, the numerator, and 4 as denominator in fraction by 2, so you have to multiply also the 4 by 2. So, that will become 2 times 2 over 4 times 2. And that will become 4 and 8. Now, if you're going to get or to cross multiply the two ratio, they are equal. So you have 8 times 2 is 16 and 4 times 4 is 16. So they are equivalent. Another. So you have multiplied by 3 and multiply it also by 3 the denominator. So that will become 2 times 3 is 6 and 4 times 3 is 12. So that is equals to 6 over 12. Again, if you're going to multiply 6 by 4, 6 times 4 is 12 and 6 times 4 is 24 and 12 times 2 is 24. So again, 2/4 is equal to 6 over 12. So since you multiply it by 3, you can also multiply it by 4. And the other one by 4. And that will become the 8 over 16. And then you can also multiply it by 5. So 2 times 5 is 10. And 4 times 5 is 20. So again, that is 10 over 20. And then if you're going to multiply 20 by 2, that is 40. And 4 by 10, that is 40. Again, they are equal. Therefore, the equivalent ratio or the possible equivalent ratio of 2:4 are 4:8, 6:12, 8:16, 10:20, and so on and so forth. Again, there are instances that the term of the ratio do not have the same units or classification, same as what we have done a while ago on the 25 centavo and the peso coin. So you have to express that into same units, because a special ratio is called rate. Okay? So for your activity, to be of course, you have for the learning task, write the ratio of the following in 3 ways. Write your answer in your notebook. You have the pentagon, the 10 pentagons to 8 triangles, and then you have the 8 circles to 6 triangles, and then you have the 18 stars is to 15 pentagon shapes. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so therefore, to sum up the lesson, so ratio, that is the quantity, that is the quantitative relation between two amounts showing the number of times one value contains or is contained within the folder, within the other, and that is the quantities that may be separate entities or they may be different parts of a whole. Again, that is expressed as A is to B, where A and B are not equal to 0. So please take note of that the A and the B are same quantities but not equal to 0. Okay, so this time let me say thanks for watching the video, and do not forget to click the subscription button and hit that notification. Goodbye and see you on the next video.